Why do you build me up? Buttercup, baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and the worst of all.
What is going on, guys? I am back with another review of a day at an amusement park, and this time I will be talking about this past Sunday's visit to Knoebels. So we finally got our Knoebels visit in for 2021, and let me just say, it was good. And yeah, but it was disappointing that a limited amount of rides were open, so we had to use our advantage to that. And take it to like find a way to take advantage with all those limited rides that were open. And plus, it was only ride tickets on Sunday, which sucked. They weren't offering wristbands at all that day. See what I'm talking about in my park battles when I say Knoebels doesn't even offer wristbands on some days? Yeah, well, this was one of them where we had to deal with like doing math and counting up tickets. And yeah, so despite the disappointing facts, this visit to Knoebels was still good. And because it's a visit to Knoebels, and I have a goal of going there like at least once every year now. But we might start going multiple times. Yeah, we're definitely gonna start going multiple times now. And yeah, so anyways, let's just talk about this day at Knoebels. So when we first got to Knoebels, we got our ride tickets, and we got our first batch of ride tickets, I should say. And then we headed to Impulse for our first ride of the day, and it was a good ride on Impulse. It was good getting back on it. And after Impulse, we did Downdraft, and Downdraft was one of the only earthing rides that was open that day. So you got to take advantage of what you got to take advantage of. So, anyways, after Downdraft, we headed to Twister for a ride on that, and it was really good. And after Twister, we headed to Caesari's Pizza, I believe that's what the pizzeria is called, and it was good pizza from there. And yeah, so anyway, after Caesari's Pizzeria, we headed to Haunted Mansion for our first ever time on it, and the scares weren't even that bad, and even the car horn scare wasn't that bad, and yeah, and that was my favorite scare too. And so, anyway, after the Haunted Mansion, we did Phoenix, and it was really good. And yeah, after we rode Phoenix, we were gonna do Stratosphere, but then we saw it was closed, and it was surprising to us that Stratosphere was down when we went. And another slingshot fate happened because if you don't remember, on August 1st, I went to Family Kingdom, and their drop tower like that slingshot was down, and now Knoebels' Stratosphere is down. Like, you see, every one of those type of drop towers I go to ride these days, it's always down. I feel like this is a trend ever since I went to Family Kingdom, guys. And so after that disappointment, that major disappointment, it was one of the reasons we went to Knoebels for. We decided to just do the flyers instead, and those were good. And those are always good flyers, and whenever you snap them, you get like this crazy sensation, like the things like rocking and stuff. And yeah, so after the flyers, we headed to Giant Wheel, which was really good. But this ride on the Giant Wheel, they only stopped us once, where we could like get shots and stuff. And after Giant Wheel, we headed to Galleon because we hadn't ridden that since 2017. And after Galleon, we headed to Scooters, which was their bumper cars ride. And my car kept like turning the other direction on it, and it kept causing like traffic jams and stuff. And so many people were causing like huge traffic jams. Like when we were in line for it, some kid he had like no idea what he was doing, and therefore he caused a huge traffic jam at one point during their ride. And a lot of traffic jams happened to us during the ride too. And so anyway, after Scooters, we headed to the Whipper, which was a decent ride on it. Dorney's is better, but Knoebels' whip ride doesn't really have that strong of a pull. And yeah, so after Knoebels' whip ride, we headed to Scenic Skyway to get some good views. And there was the main difference from last time we rode Scenic Skyway was because the last time we rode Scenic Skyway, it was a different scenery because it was like the fall. It was during Hollow Fun Nights the last time we rode Scenic Skyway, and yeah, so. But the main difference is there were like no like leaves changing colors and stuff, and it was during the daytime too. Last time we rode it, it was towards night actually, and so yeah. Anyway, after that ride on Scenic Skyway, we headed to Paratrooper for for a ride on that, and it was really good. And after a ride on Paratrooper, we headed to Twister for another re-ride on that, and it was really good. And after the front row ride on Twister, or towards the front row on ride on Twister, I meant to say, the back is more aggressive than the front on Twister before I say anything else. And after Twister, we headed to the Pioneer Train for our first ever time on it, and it was good. It took us to cool parts of Knoebels, and yeah, so after the Pioneer Train, we did a ride that I hadn't done in many years at Knoebels, Merry Mixer, and it was a good scrambler ride, yeah. And after Merry Mixer, we headed for a re-ride on Downdraft, and after Downdraft, we rode Impulse, and after Impulse, we headed to Phoenix for another re-ride on that. And after Phoenix, headed to Paratrooper for a re-ride on that, which was good. And after Paratrooper, we headed to the Flyers once again. And after the Flyers, we stopped in that place where they have like candy and shakes and stuff. And I got a lot of candy from that place, even blue raspberry Twizzlers, which is some of the best licorice I've had in my life, guys. So try Knoebels' licorice, and when you like ever hit up that place at Knoebels. And we also both tried the classic chocolate fudge shake, and it was good. And so after our stop at that place, we headed to Cosmotron for EB's first ever ride on it. And after re-riding it, since 2016 or 2015, however long it's been since my last time on it, I could officially say it's the coolest Music Express I've ever been on because it's all indoors. And it has closed doors on it. So it makes it a really cool Music Express type ride, and plus it has a Cosmotron type ride, and it goes forwards and backwards. And yeah, so after that ride on Cosmotron, we headed to Phoenix for a re-ride on that, and it was good. And after Phoenix, we headed to this pavilion where they have all sorts of good food. Comment down below if you remember what the restaurant's called. But we ate there. And yeah, so after we ate at this place, we headed to Giant Wheel after that for a re-ride on that. And this time we got a lot more shots from it. And so anyway, after Giant Wheel, we headed to Twister for a re-ride on that. And it was a really good re-ride on Twister, especially the fact that it was at night was really good. And yeah, so after that re-ride on Twister, we headed for a re-ride on Impulse because we really wanted a re-ride on that. And after that, we had our last ride. We finally got a front row night ride on Impulse, you guys. It was our dreams to us both have a night ride on Impulse in the front row. But we wanted to do the front row on Impulse in general, and we finally got to do it. And after that, after that ride on Impulse, we had our last ride of the night on, surprise, surprise, Downdraft. And Downdraft was our last ride of the night, last visit too. And now it's this visit too. And what a coincidence. And so, yeah, Downdraft was our most ridden flat of the day. And again, we really had to, use to our advantage the limited amount of rides that were open. And yeah, so that basically concluded our visit to Knoebels Amusement Resort. Make sure to reply to me your thoughts on this video, and make sure to go check out my merch store on Bonfire. I have t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, face masks, all the things, so make sure to go check it out. I'll have a link in the description, and I will see you in the next